From carefree drives without seatbelts to smoking freely on airplanes, there are quite a few nostalgic reminders of a very different America. So here are the 20 normal things that are now illegal in the United States.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving, and pretty soon we're going to be communist country.
For decades, seatbelts were optional, often ignored in early cars. Many drivers felt trapped wearing them, valuing freedom over safety. But grim statistics and soaring fatalities and crashes shifted public opinion. Studies proved seatbelts saved lives, prompting nationwide mandates. Today, buckling up feels automatic, a habit that reshaped car culture and transformed safety into second nature. Once upon a time in America, the skies carried more than turbulence. They carried thick clouds of smoke. Not too long ago, lighting up mid-flight was perfectly normal. Cabins filled with smoke while passengers and crew endured the haze. Mounting health complaints and undeniable secondhand smoke dangers forced change. By the late 1980s and early 90s, federal laws grounded in-flight smoking permanently, turning airplanes into the clean air environments that we expect today. Now, let's take a look at a time when medicine could be bought straight without a prescription. As weird as it sounds, in the past, powerful drugs like morphine and antibiotics were sold freely, no doctor prescription required. What felt convenient quickly spiraled into misuse, abuse, overdoses, and addiction. Public health crises demanded stricter oversight, leading to prescription-only systems. Today, those once casual purchases are tightly controlled, reshaping how Americans access and trust modern medicine. Now, here's a darker one. Families once relied on tiny hands to power America's growing industry. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, children toiled in mills, mines, and farms, working long hours in dangerous conditions for very little pay. Tragic accidents and reform movements pushed lawmakers to act, creating child labor laws. These protections transformed childhood, replacing factory floors with classrooms and shaping the modern education-focused workforce that we have today. Parents, once upon a time, trusted their arms more than they trusted safety belts to keep kids safe in cars. As crazy as it is by today's standards, kids used to ride around unrestrained, standing in back seats, perched on laps, or hanging out in the back window. As you can imagine, this had some devastating injury risks, showing that love alone, that wasn't good enough protection. Well, laws changed and required car seats based on age and size, making restraints essential. Today, buckling kids in is second nature, redefining road safety for families everywhere. But for those of us who grew up in the 80s, we'll never forget the sensation of flying halfway across the car when Dad hit the brakes. Okay, let's take a look at a different time when lighting up indoors felt as normal as flipping on a light switch. Bars, restaurants, offices, and even classrooms were once filled with cigarette smoke. For decades, secondhand smoke was dismissed as harmless, but health campaigns revealed its deadly impact, sparking nationwide bans. These laws cleared the air, literally reshaping public life. Today, smoke-free indoor spaces are the standard, a stark contrast to America's hazy past. Now, here's a seemingly impossible one, because what seemed like freedom quickly clashed with safety, sparking national debate. You know, in a lot of states, turning 18 once meant that you could legally drink, but rising drunk driving fatalities pushed Congress to act. The 1984 National Minimum Drinking Age Act forced states to raise the limit to 21 or lose federal highway funding. This change reshaped youth culture, nightlife, and independence, cementing a new legal boundary.
The change in the drinking age is also having a devastating economic impact. Here on the 6th Street Party District, some club owners tell me their business has been cut in half, while other clubs have just called it quits.
And what was once overlooked soon became a deadly crisis demanding change.
To restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
For the longest time, drunk driving was brushed off as careless fun. But mounting crashes and fatalities forced lawmakers to confront the crisis. Stricter DUI laws, roadside checkpoints, and advocacy groups like MAD reshaped the culture. What was once tolerated became taboo, marking a powerful shift in how society values responsibility behind the wheel. A trusted household staple would also reveal some dangers hidden in plain sight. And that's because lead-based paint once symbolized quality and resilience, brightening countless homes. But studies uncovered its dark sides, neurotoxic effects, especially devastating for children, behavioral issues, learning disabilities, and lifelong health struggles, all traced back to those colorful walls. In 1978, the U.S. banned it in homes, marking a crucial turning point in public health awareness. Speaking of lethal, what shielded buildings for decades slowly became a silent killer. Asbestos was once hailed as a miracle, strong, cheap, and fireproof. It lined schools, homes, and offices, protecting countless structures. But hidden within its fibers was a deadly risk, linked to lung disease and cancers like mesothelioma, as dangers emerged way too late for many. Federal regulations finally forced its removal, reshaping safety standards forever. If you thought that was bad, there were also some hidden dangers disguised as pets too. Let's take a look. Pretty early on, families proudly kept lions, monkeys, and even snakes at home. These creatures symbolized status and thrill, but the risks soon outweighed the novelty. Escapes, injuries, and mistreatment revealed dangers for both people and animals. Growing public concern led to strict state and federal bans, redefining what belongs inside the home. But you know, what once lit up the sky oftentimes ended in tragedy. Fireworks stands dotted neighborhoods across America, selling rockets and firecrackers to nearly everybody. While dazzling, they also sparked countless fires and severe injuries each summer. Mounting accidents pushed lawmakers to restrict sales in many states. Today, only a handful allow broad personal use, leaving the rest to professional shows. If you found these forgotten laws fascinating, make sure you hit like and subscribe because there's a whole world of surprising, vanishing traditions that we're going to talk about next. Once upon a time, a simple glance at a screen turned highways into danger zones. When cell phones first started spreading, drivers casually read and typed messages behind the wheel. It felt harmless until accident data told another story. Studies revealed texting made crashes far more likely than drunk driving. States responded with sweeping bans, heavy fines, and awareness campaigns, reshaping road safety in the age of smartphones. Then, mountains of garbage were once piled high, poisoning land, air, and water. Day after day, whole communities dumped waste into sprawling open pits. The stench, vermin, and toxic runoff soon revealed the dangers, from spreading disease to polluting groundwater. Public pressure and environmental studies pushed lawmakers to act. Sanitary landfills, recycling programs, and stricter waste management replaced the old ways, shaping today's cleaner, safer disposal systems. You know, there once was a symbolized convenience that now dogs oceans and strangles wildlife. Plastic straws and bags were everyday essentials. Cheap, disposable, and literally everywhere, they seemed harmless until images of polluted oceans and choking sea turtles spread worldwide. Environmentalists pushed for change, and lawmakers followed. Many cities and states enacted bans, sparking a cultural shift towards reusable bags, paper straws, and other eco-friendly alternatives. Adding to our list, extremely rare and iconic animals were pushed to the edge by a seemingly innocent thing. See, in early America, hunting was a way of life with very little regulation. But unchecked killing nearly wiped out species like bison, wolves, and bald eagles. As populations crashed, conservationists sounded alarms. Federal laws, such as the Endangered Species Act, brought strict protections, turning the tide and helping many threatened animals slowly recover from near extinction. On the list of weird things, farm fresh purity stirred nationwide health fears. You know, for generations, raw milk was poured straight from the farm to the table, celebrated as natural and nourishing. But recurring outbreaks of tuberculosis, salmonella, and E. coli shifted public opinion. States moved to restrict or ban sales, citing safety. Today, its legality varies, sparking ongoing debate between health regulators and traditional food advocates. And what began as a casual street crossing soon clashed with city order. So which of these once normal habits surprised you the most? And do you think any of these should return? Make sure you let us know in the comment section down below.